When people think of billionaires, they often imagine exotic vacations, fancy cars, and extremely complicated lifestyles. But Warren Buffett, one of the wealthiest men in the world, is famous for doing the opposite. He lives a simple, predictable, and almost ordinary daily routine. He eats the same basic meals, reads for hours every day, and keeps his schedule surprisingly quiet. That got me thinking, what would happen if I lived like Warren Buffett for 30 days? Could his habits influence the way I think, work, and even the way I manage my money? To find out, I decided to follow his daily routine as closely as possible. It was not about copying his billions, it was about seeing how his choices affect mindset and productivity. After 30 days, I can say this experiment changed more than I expected. Let me walk you through what I discovered. Morning routine, a slow start. The first change was how Warren Buffett starts his day. Unlike other billionaires who wake up at 4 a.m. to crush workouts, Buffett keeps it simple. He wakes up around 6:45 to 700 a.m., not too early, not too late. I adjusted my alarm to match his timing. At first, I thought I would feel guilty for not waking up at sunrise like other productivity gurus suggest. But surprisingly, starting the day a little later gave me more energy. I felt well rested and not rushed. Buffett also does not have an intense morning routine filled with meditation, ice baths, or long exercise sessions. Instead, he keeps it calm. He sometimes eats McDonald's breakfast, often with a can of Coca-Cola. I followed that too, though I swapped soda with coffee after the first week for health reasons. This slow and predictable start removed the stress I normally felt in the mornings. It taught me that productivity is not always about starting earlier, it is about starting in control. Reading for hours. One of the strongest habits Buffett practices is reading. He spends about 5 to 6 hours a day reading newspapers, reports, and books. I committed to doing the same. I subscribed to financial newspapers, pulled out investment books I had ignored, and set aside hours for focused reading. In the beginning, it was difficult. My mind wanted to scroll on my phone instead. Sitting for hours with dense reports felt heavy. But after a week, something clicked. I started enjoying the process. My brain began connecting information, spotting patterns, and forming stronger opinions. By the end of the month, this habit had completely shifted how I saw learning. Reading gave me perspective, discipline, and a sense of calm. Instead of chasing quick entertainment, I invested my time into knowledge. This was one of the most impactful parts of the experiment. Eating like Warren Buffett. Another interesting part of Buffett's daily life is his eating habits. He is known for having a sweet tooth and keeping a diet that includes McDonald's, Coca-Cola, and even ice cream. I tried to copy it exactly at first, but after a few days I noticed my energy levels dropping. While it was fun for a week, it was not sustainable for me. So instead, I balanced it. I allowed myself simple fast food meals a few times, but I mostly focused on the idea behind his habit: comfort and consistency. Buffett eats what he enjoys and keeps his choices simple. That simplicity meant I wasted less time thinking about meals. Instead of stressing over meal planning, I focused on work. The lesson was not about eating burgers every day. The lesson was about making choices that simplify your day and keep you consistent. Keeping a clear schedule. One surprising discovery about Warren Buffett is that his calendar is often empty. Unlike many CEOs with packed days of meetings, Buffett avoids overbooking himself. He believes in protecting his time and saying no to things that do not matter. For 30 days I tried this. I cut down on unnecessary meetings, reduced social distractions, and kept long blocks of time for deep work. At first, it felt strange. I worried people would think I was being lazy or unavailable, but the results were powerful. With fewer distractions, I finished tasks faster and with more focus. This habit showed me that being busy does not mean being productive. True productivity is having time to think, plan, and act on what really matters. Practicing patience. Buffett is famous for patience. In investing, he is known for holding stocks for decades. In life, he avoids rushing into decisions. For 30 days, I practiced slowing down my choices. Instead of reacting quickly to emails, texts, or small problems, I gave myself time to think. This was difficult at first because we live in a world where instant replies are expected. But patience gave me power. I started making better financial decisions because I stopped acting on impulse. I saved money by waiting before buying something unnecessary. I improved relationships by listening more and reacting less. By the end of the month, patience became my favorite lesson. It taught me that quick is not always smart. Sometimes the best move is to wait. Staying humble. Even though Warren Buffett is one of the richest people alive, he lives in the same house he bought decades ago. He drives simple cars and avoids showing off his wealth. I tried to apply this to my life for 30 days by avoiding unnecessary spending and focusing on simple pleasures. The effect was refreshing. I realized how much money I waste on things that are more about image than happiness. I cooked more at home, wore the same comfortable clothes, and avoided chasing trends. My bank account thanked me. More importantly, I felt lighter. Humility in lifestyle gave me peace of mind. Reflection time. One subtle but important part of Buffett's life is reflection. He spends time thinking deeply about decisions, analyzing investments, and reviewing mistakes. I made it a daily habit to spend at least 30 minutes reflecting. Sometimes I wrote in a journal, other times I just sat quietly and thought about the day. This changed the way I saw progress. Instead of rushing from one task to the next, I actually learned from my experiences. Reflection slowed life down in a good way and gave me clarity about what to improve. What changed after 30 days? After 30 days of living like Warren Buffett, I noticed real changes in my mindset, habits, and even finances. I felt calmer. Starting the day slowly and keeping my schedule clear reduced stress. I no longer felt like I was in a race every morning. My focus improved. Reading for hours trained my mind to concentrate deeply instead of bouncing from distraction to distraction. I saved more money. By practicing humility and patience, I avoided unnecessary expenses and made better financial choices. My productivity improved. With fewer meetings and more quiet time, I achieved more in less time. I valued simplicity. I learned that success does not always come from doing more. It comes from doing less but doing it well. The lessons I will keep. Not every habit worked for me perfectly. I could not eat like Buffett every day without feeling unhealthy, but I will keep the principle of simplifying meal choices. I may not spend 6 hours reading every day, but I will keep the discipline of daily learning. What I will definitely keep is the idea of protecting my time, practicing patience, and living humbly. Those habits created the most powerful changes in my life. Following Warren Buffett's daily routine for 30 days was more than just a challenge. It was a window into the mindset of one of the greatest investors of all time. His habits look simple, almost ordinary, but they create extraordinary results over time. The biggest lesson I learned is that success is not about intensity, it is about consistency. Buffett's daily life is proof that discipline, patience, and simplicity can build massive wealth and peace of mind. You may not become a billionaire by following his routine, but you can certainly become smarter, calmer, and more financially stable. And in today's world, that is already a big victory. After 30 days of living like Warren Buffett, my life became more focused, my money habits improved, and my stress dropped. The real change is not in the billions, it is in the mindset. If you want to transform your life, start by borrowing 1 or 2 of these habits and see what happens. You may be surprised by how much your world changes when you start thinking a little more like Warren Buffett.